Good morning. Welcome to our episode 11 of our City Walk and Talk. Today is February 9, 2022. And if you are going to listen to this on replay, huwag kayong malungkot. Our talks here are timeless. Hindi kailangan based on certain date and time. But we are just taking note of the date para lang we are aware. We always practice mindfulness to be aware of where you are at kung anong oras ngayon at kung ano yung ginagawa natin, where we are exactly, even where our body parts are. The fact that you are conscious and aware kung ano yung nangyayari deep inside you and in your surroundings, those are already practice of mindfulness. And for today, pag-uusapan natin one of the concepts that I think is essential for us to acknowledge, and that is balance. Ano ang balance para sa iyo? Nabigla no? Sige, mag-isip ka muna. Ano ang balance para sa iyo? And for all of you, what do you think whenever you hear of the word balance? Like, first things comes to mind. Anong bigla-biglang dumarating? Weighing scale? Or ano ba? For me, because my zodiac sign is Libra, so yung, di ba yun yung sa Libra, it's the balance. So yun yung iisip ko. But balance is very essential. To strike a balance in everything, siya daw yung considered as the key to success, to happiness, to contentment, even in healing, and even in optimizing your health. It has something to do with balance. You know, we promote low-carb nutrition. We also promote fasting. Pero hindi pwede na puro lang kayo fasting. As much as I love fasting, I feel good with fasting. And I think kami ni Mane, we share the same sentiments na while we are fasting, parang we are at the peak of our mental functioning, our well-being. We feel good, no?
Yes.
And yun nga, natatalo ka lang when you are already about to eat. Meron kang very fleeting, sobrang sandali lang na moment na sobrang gustong-gusto mo yung pleasure ng food. But after that minute second lang na you savor the pleasure of food, after that, you feel a little sluggish. Yun, parang yung term ko dyan noon, especially when I'm fasting long, kapag nagpa-fast ako ng matagal, like extended fasting, especially when I tried dry fasting, it feels like wala ko sa worldly dimension. Yung parang ibang level yung wavelength mo. It's hard to describe, but for those of you who have experienced some degree of elevation when it comes to your personal wavelength, yung alam mo, you are somewhat on your higher self. Nasa higher self mo ikaw, and then by the moment I took my first water intake, nawala yun. I came back as mortal. Yun yung feeling ko noon. But still, as much as I love fasting, hindi pwedeng naka-fasting tayo parate. That's why our groups in Facebook is low carb feasting and fasting community. Because there should be a balance between eating and not eating. And it could be the key when it comes to optimizing our health. Hindi pwedeng basta too much. So too much of everything is not good. And for others na saying, sobra-sobra na yung pag-low carb ninyo. But the truth is, low carb, we just term it. Pero ito lang talaga yung the way we should be eating. Because yung nakasanayan nating normal amount of sugar is actually way too much already. So doing low carb is actually striking a balance. But again, our City Walk and Talk is not just related to food intake, to low carb and fasting. Sabi pa nga ni Sir Olidan. It should be a breath of fresh air to talk about something else other than just that. Although we are like minded individuals, it's good to be in this safe zone, in this safe community, na kung makapagkwentuhan man tayo when it comes to low carb and fasting, it's also okay. And if ever we talk about something else, then that is also okay. So when it comes to balance, you should think of the many aspects that you have in your life right now. Ano ba yung usual na aspect ng buhay natin? So we have family, we have career, we have relationships, we have our financial needs, we have stresses, we have challenges in life. So you can put them on the scale of the good and the not so good. And nasan kayo ngayon? Like, say, for example, in your family, is everything going well? Everything happy? And wala bang kahit anong setback na kahit kakaunti, wala kang babaguhin? I don't think that's possible because no family is perfect. Tayong lahat, kahit papareho tayo ng kinalakihan, we were raised in the same household, we each will have our own individual difference. Meron talagang individual differences and that makes us unique, especially sa mga magkakapatid, no? Tayo, sa mga kapatid natin, alam na alam natin kung ano yung mga faults ng isa't isa, di ba? And sometimes, that's why nga yung mga kapatid mo daw is your best friend and your worst enemy at the same time. Kasi sila din mismo yung pinakaalam na alam kung paano ka gagalitin, kung paano ka iinisin, and you also know their quirks. But at the same time, you love them amongst many people in the world. Sila yung mga pinakamamahal mo din. So when it comes to family, I hope you are doing a good job with maintaining a good relationship with your family. And those quirks, yung mga kakaunting mga narereklamo natin, mga naiinisan natin minsan, maybe that's just enough to strike a balance. Because if it's too perfect, then maybe it's not true. May something yan. Because meron talaga. But I hope na yung mga negativity when it comes to family is just enough to make it real. It's just enough to make it true. It's just enough to have some healthy discussions, some intellectual disagreements, and at the end of the day, you still remember that you are still family and you won't let go of each other. Yun yung key when I think of adding people in our life. Yung iba, yung nagsasabi na if you have someone in a relationship and then if you've been together for so long, if nagkakaroon ba ng time na pag magsasawaan na kayo or even in friends, magkakaroon ba yun? And my answer to that, only if you think of that person as temporary part of your life. Kung temporary lang sila, then of course, you will just look forward sa time na mawawala na sila. But if you think of them as family, then you get to accept them for who they are, for what they are. It doesn't mean na hindi nyo na ita-try to improve, to make better, kung anong pwedeng i-improve sa isa't isa. But acceptance first is also essential so that you can also have a healthy, balanced relationship. So not just with family, but also with friends. So when it comes to friends, kamusta naman? If those friends you have is papunta pa lang kayo when you are going to meet at parang ang bigat na sa saloobin niyo, then maybe those are not the best people for you. And try to think if it's really a genuine kind of friendship. Because friends, yun nga daw, ang friends are families that you really get to choose. Kasi yung family, wala tayong choice dyan eh. Pinipili, hindi natin yan napipili. We are born with them. But with friends, those are the optional families. So actually, merong kakaibang weight din yung friendship. Because you're not actually required to be with them. But if you choose to be with them, then, it's just beyond being born with them. But it's a deliberate decision. So I'm not saying na pipiliin mo lang, you associate yourself with only good people na feeling mo swak na swak talaga kayo, na yung parehong-pareho kayo. Because it may not also help you. Baka yung gusto mo, pareho kayong lahat at wala na kayong ibang nakikitang kulay. Like for example, kami ni Mane, kung pareho kaming gusto namin yung color blue, if color blue lang yung gusto namin dalawa, blue lang lahat ng makikita mo sa bahay namin. But buti na lang, gusto niya rin yung ibang kulay. Gusto niya ng yellow, gusto niya rin ng pink. And I also love other neutral colors. Gray, dark blue, black, white. Yun lang. So it's neutralizing everything. And I think if you look at it overall, it's striking a balance. So it's in harmony. So balance is looking for that harmony. It's looking for that homeostasis. Even in our body, marami siyang mekanismo to strike balance. And it is termed as homeostasis. So even in our electrolytes, alam na alam ng katawan natin kung ano yung sobra, ilalabas niya. Kung ano yung kulang, iipunin niya, i-conserve niya. That's how amazing our body is. It's innate in us. Natural sa atin yun. And I think on what we do on the outside, we can also practice some degree of balancing, of homeostasis, and that is knowing what to conserve, what to save, and also what to expel. Kung ano yung mga bagay na dapat i-retain, dapat i-conserve, dapat bigyan ng value, and the things that are just adding burden to your system, the baggage, the excess baggage, especially if yung mga excess baggage na yon is already jeopardizing the essentials. So, what do we mean by that? So, in our training right now, we are exposed with many mentors. And as the young na mga trainees, we get to learn from all of their techniques. And even way before, we have been, as a medical healthcare professional kasi, you will always have mentors. Hindi pwedeng ikaw na ang pinaka sa lahat. Because if you are that already, wala na. You are maka 0.001% lang siguro yan sa mundo. But even then, even those people, I get to communicate with one of those people. And until now, they are still learning. So even if you are way, way up there, na if you are thinking na wala ka nang na-reach mo na yung pinaka-top, but actually those people still don't think of themselves as the one on top, na wala nang above them. Because they still continue to learn yung pinadalhan natin ng libro, natanggap na niya, at sabi niya, it's a very interesting read. So, even if he's already 80 plus years old, and he is already like the head of whatever, but he still get to appreciate a new learning. So, one of our learnings with isa sa mga mentors namin would be the balance between life and family, the balance between career and your passion and people. Like, yung ginagawa niyang trabaho is really very passionate about it. He's really passionate about it, and it's already something na gives him income, and it's also helping people, and it's also providing him with satisfaction. So, yun yung concept ng ikigai. Ikigai is already a book, no? But it's a Japanese concept of nasa gitna ka ng isang situation where you found na kung saan yung nagda-diverge when it comes to your parang purpose mo in life. So, if you find something na that's providing you with income, it's providing you with satisfaction, It's also providing you with purpose, and you know it is helping others. So that's ikigai. So kasi kung ano lang, kung what you love doing, and then it's also helping people, then that could be considered as a mission. Kasi hindi naman yung nagbibigay sa'yo ng trabaho. Hindi naman siya nagbibigay ng income sa'yo. If it's giving you income and it's helping you people, that's a vocation. Pero if you have something na you love doing, and then you are also good at, and you're also helping others, then that's the concept of ikigai. Because if you're good at it and you're being paid for it, that's your profession. And sometimes, minsan, if you're just focusing on that alone, you are good at what you do and you are being paid for it, but you are not really fulfilled, nakakaligtaan mo, alam mo, meron kang other things that you wish you could be doing. Like say, for example, I don't know, maybe learning a new craft, maybe mastering your certain dance moves, maybe making a new recipe, or spending time with your family, or raising your child, or just getting in touch with your soul. Kasi minsan parang naiiwanan natin yung soul natin sa sobrang busy ng buhay. So, if meron kang nakakaligtaan, you might be overdoing your profession rather than your passion, rather than the things that you really live for. You are too busy earning a living na hindi mo na nabibigyan ng pagkakataon how to really live your life. And those are the things that you should consider. And as one mentor said, if I am just working every day, every night, 7 days a week, and I'm thinking na I'm working for my family, but I no longer have time for my family, then why am I still working? Bakit pa ako nagtatrabaho when they are supposed to be the reason why I'm doing it? And so that led me into thinking, how do you strike a balance with what you do, with how you're doing, and how you're spending your time? Because as what we've discussed in the previous days, time is one of those things na hindi talaga natin pwedeng maibalik. It's one of those things na yung totoong pinaka dapat i-take care natin. Because time is very limited. It's finite. Money, you can always earn money. When it comes to your career, you need to ask, why are you doing what you're doing? Ano yung pinaka-purpose ng career mo? And if you will reconsider, you might be caught up right now in the superficial, worldly wants and needs na akala mo yun talaga yung pinaka-importante mong gagawin ngayon because, I don't know, maybe feeling mo kung hindi mo magagawa ito, your future will be doomed. Pero baka naman you are already losing the ones essential right in front of you right now. Just because you are way thinking of the future. Na baka sa future na yun, you will no longer get to do what you've always wanted to do. Why not do what you can sa ngayon pa lang? And maybe you can take pleasure from doing what you must, yet at the same time, hindi mo nakakaligtaan. You don't forget the essential things that we should really be taking care. So, when it comes to family, career, love, money, friendships, your own individual growth, I hope you strike a balance. And when we say you strike a balance, hindi lang ito yung absence ng stress, but it's looking for that specific spot where you continue to grow, where you continue to evolve and improve, while at the same time, meron lang enough challenges to shape you, to mold you, and you are coming from a place of content. You are happy. At least daw, even if it's balanced, it doesn't need to be really yung pinaka-pinpoint talaga. Because sometimes, yung balance na yun, it could just be nothingness. So, kung nothingness naman, baka isipin nyo wala na kayong sense of purpose, you can also count. At least daw, when you're holding on to something, if you count the good sticks and the bad sticks, at least you always have the good sticks a little more than the bad ones because it can make you keep going. And hopefully, as you go, you will just accumulate the good sticks and less of the bad ones. And when it comes to balance, I think nakwento ko na ito noon, but I will share this with you again. It's the story of the fisherman. Alam niyo ba yung story na yun? So hello everybody. Before we end our talk with today's City Walk and Talk, I would like to say hi to everyone, especially the ones in our front row. Mona Lisa, Liz, Michelle, Shirley, Nelda, Mao, and maraming salamat. So we will end our today's talk with the story about the fisherman. And I think it's a good story to give us that glimpse of a balanced life. So meron daw isang fisherman na sa umaga, nagigising siya like early in the morning, 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And then pumupunta siya sa dagat. And then after 2 hours, by 7 in the morning, bumabalik na siya. And meron na siyang catch. Meron na siyang dalang mga isda. Yung isdang nadadala niya, he divides it into two. Yung isa, yung konsumo nila for the family during the day. And the other half, ibinibenta niya. Pupunta siya sa palengke. So by 9 o'clock, nakabalik na siya. Meron na siyang money galing sa naibenta niyang fish. And then, sa bahay, niluluto na ng asawa niya yung kanilang food. And then they're eating. By 12 noon, tapos na silang kumain. By 1 o'clock, nakikipagkwentuhan siya sa kanyang mga friends, like siesta. And then after a while, maybe mini-maintain niya yung kanyang fishing boat. And then by afternoon, 3, 4 p.m., he is already spending time with his kids, with his family, yung kanyang mga anak. And they spend the whole time just outside of their home, nanonood ng dagat, by the sea, enjoying the breeze, nagkakwentuhan. And dinner time, magkasama ulit sila. And then, matutulog. And then, another day will happen. Mangingisda na naman siya ulit. And then he will already spend the day again earning a little. And then yung family niya will also go to their school, to their places, kung saan man. And then by afternoon, they still gather again. So merong isang businessman na nakakita sa kanya. Sabi ng isang businessman na yon, why do you limit yourself to just 2 or 3 hours na pangingisda? Like 4 or 5 a.m., by 7 a.m., tapos ka na. Alam mo ba, sabi ng businessman, alam mo ba na if you will continue to fish, like for example, 2 hours lang yung spend mong time for fishing. How about you multiply that by 4, like 8 hours? So alam mo ba na magiging marami yung income mo? So sabi ng fisherman, why would I do that? Because, sabi ni businessman, if you will multiply it by 4, your income will be times 4. And then maybe, by that time, magkakaroon ka ng extra money. you can buy another fishing boat. Sabi naman niya, and kung meron akong extra fishing boat, ano yung mangyayari? Kung meron ka ng another fishing boat, so pwede ka nang magdagdag ng other people. Pwede nang marami nang mangingisda for you. And kapag marami nang mangingisda for you, you will even increase your income. So maybe, mas dadami pa. Magiging 10 na yung fishing boat mo. You no longer need to go to your market para ikaw mismo yung magbenta. You can even just manage na lang your boat. And sabi niya, kapag marami na ako minamanage na boat, ano yung gagawin ko? Maybe magkakaroon ka ng isang canning facility na yung mga isda mo, ikaw na mismo mag-import or export at nalalaki na yung business mo and you will become worldwide. And the businessman went on saying kung ano pa yung pwede niyang successes in life at maging sobrang rich na siya and everything. Tapos sabi niya, and then, kapag na-reach ko na yung level na yon, sobrang marami na akong companies that I manage and I have all of these wealth, ano yung mangyayari? Sabi ni businessman, then by that time, you can now, by the moment you wake up, you can now go, like maybe exercise, do whatever you want to do. And then by 9 o'clock, maybe you can have breakfast na with your family. And after lunch, you can also enjoy time with your friends. And by afternoon, you can spend time with your kids and you can play with them and you can have dinner with them and you can rest well for the night. At yung sabi ni Fisherman, hindi ba yun na yung ginagawa ko ngayon? And the most important part there, he is already doing it at that point alone and savoring every moment while the people that he is working hard for is still there. Because if you will follow yung sinabi ni businessman, then baka kapag dumating yung time na yon, yung kids niya, baka malaki na. Maybe they already grew apart. Baka hindi na sila nag-usap or wala na silang time mag-usap because they're already very busy with so many other things. So it's just a story, but it gives you the perspective of what really is more important in life. Sometimes we strive very hard to earn, to make a living, that we sometimes forget why we are doing it, and for whom we are doing it for. Of course, ayaw nating i-tolerate na kung ano lang, na basta makontento na lang sa wala. We still have the bare minimum. We still have the essentials. We still know the things that are needed for us to have a comfortable life. So, hindi naman natin yon kakalimutan. But it's just a little reminder that sometimes maybe we need to have a little pause, have a little break, and make sure na we don't leave the most important things in life sa mga bagay na we can truly live without. Know which things are necessary for you, what keeps your heart beating, what keeps you wanting to wake up every day, what keeps you wanting to live each and every day. So if you found that, if you find that already, I hope you hang on to it and you don't forget how to give value. And that is, I think, the very challenge, how to strike a balance of holding on to the essentials while at the same time making sure that you are also not forgetting the other things needed para mabuhay tayo in a balanced, happy, contented, and blissful life. So, we are already near the highway. Nasa highway na tayo, kaya medyo maingay na. And I think that could be the end of our talk. Joanne, Vico, Ineng, thank you so much for all of your support. This is just going to be a quick talk because late na akong gumising kasi late na rin ako nakatulog and I still have to go back for an early work. So, maraming salamat everybody. If you wish to continue to be a part of our little community, you can also follow our page and subscribe to our YouTube channel where we will upload this maybe by the weekend na because we still don't have time for the complete playlist of our City Walk and Talk. And also our Life Without Price and Low Carb Feasting and Fasting community. For those who wish to know more naman when it comes to their health, optimizing their health, and improving their mindset. We have the Low Carb and Fasting Masterclass by yours truly, wherein dun tayo nagla-live Q&A every weekend for questions and queries when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to our health. So just message our admins if you wish to be a part of that. And I hope to see you every weekend. So nandito na tayo at the middle of this traffic. Maraming salamat everybody. Have a good day and for always have a good life. Remember to stay low carb so that we all stay safe. Goodbye.